I want to take you, back to where it all started. Tell me a little bit about, where did you grow up and how were the early years?
Okay, very much from India, born and brought up in India. Parents are from Kerala. So dad, when he was 19, he moved to Chennai. He was working for Buckingham and Carnatic Mills, which was Pini, as you call it. So pretty much my studies were in Chennai. Roots were originally from Kerala, so we speak Malayalam and Tamil. Born and brought up in Chennai. My parents decided that okay, you should be going in for matriculation because I was not good in studies, to be very honest. 10th standard was not good. I'm not a maths person, so I did not score good marks in maths. So obviously, I shifted from central board syllabus to matriculation, and studied.
Matriculation means like state board.
State board, exactly. So you in Chennai at that time, I'm talking this in the 80s. So you had CBSE, you had matriculation, you had Anglo-Indian matriculation, and then you had the state board. So state board was pretty much Tamil Nadu government, and matriculation was one step ahead. So I studied in matriculation. I took science as my major, and at that time, every middle class family's dream, and especially from my parents' dream, was sons has either have to be an engineer or a doctor.
And you were in a Tamdam circle, so
Exactly.
I would assume that.
Yeah. So from 11th and 12th, I did science, pure science, and I love science. I love the subject science. Specifically, biology and zoology were my favorite subjects. Chemistry was not my cup of tea. So I put a lot of thought and said, you know what, let's become a doctor. This is where I want to see myself. So let's prepare for this. Very, very enthusiastic. And 11th, studies was good. 12th was good. So yeah, there were a lot of guys who went into IIT, BITS Pilani, REC Trichy. So my friends, some of them got into engineering, and I did not get into medicine. So I said, you know what, this is not something which I'm going to look for. And my parents said that, you know what, Prashanth, don't worry about it. Dad was always at my side. Dad said, see, you know what you need to do, go ahead. If you want to do medicine, you can try and attempt next year as well. So you could study. So he said, why don't you study BSc Zoology? You like zoology as a subject. So I got an admission into Madras Christian College in Tamra, and started to take BSc Zoology as my subject. I went to college. I said, nah, this is not something that I want. And then, I don't know, it was more about, I felt I'm wasting time because you saw your friends who are already doing things that they wanted to do. And I felt like, yeah, I'll be doing zoology, but I'm also doing medicine. So I was very undecided. And that's when my cousin, that's my father's younger brother, we were cousins, and he's from Bangalore. So I went and met him in Bangalore for a holiday during the first semester break. He was working. He was working for a hotel as a part-time, and he had completed his hotel management from IHM Bangalore. I knew that he did hotel management, but I didn't know much about it. So when I met him, he took me to this hotel in Bangalore, and he started telling me about how this industry is and how this works and stuff like that. And he took me to the college, IHM Bangalore. I went to the college, and I saw the chefs in the chef court, and I saw the practical class of F&B, and I went back and said, this is something that I want to do. Without a lie. I didn't know what the industry was, and I came back. I didn't tell this to my parents, and I was just a bit afraid. And then I did my AIMS exams. I did my All India Medical Entrance. I proved the All India Medical Entrance exam, and I came, and that was done. And second half of the year, I was not interested going for classes. I was not having attendance, going around with friends.
So you still didn't ask your parents?
I didn't come and
so you had your
so I started to find out about IHM, what the entrance is, because IHM also had an entrance exam. And that time in the 80s, nobody knew what hotel management was. There was only two colleges. There was one which is IHM, which is a common exam that you have to enter, and then the second was a private college, which was Asan Memorial Catering College, which was 60 kilometers away from Chennai. So I came back, and I told my dad, when dad saw my results in college semester that I have failed in a few of the first semester years, what's happening? I said, Dad, I'm not interested. This is not something that I want to do. I would like to do something, but this is what I want to do. And the fees was really high. At that time, I think it was around 12,000 rupees first semester. It was big. For dad to organize that money, he had to go back, take his gratuity, and he gave the admission. I started school, and there was a big fight at home. My mom was not up to it. She said, because in the colony, everybody knew Prashanth is studying hotel management. So at that point, the image is, if you don't study, you will do hotel management. That's the image that was there. Believe me or not. So people are going for engineering with I don't know what they call the compass or the gadgets that they go to
Yeah,
school.
yeah, drafter.
Drafter.
Yeah,
right? They had
that looks
drafter.
like a.
And then we had my sister's classmate. She was my neighbor. She was studying in Kilpauk Medical College, and she had Stanley Medical College. She had a white doctor's coat, and they were going. And my mom saw there's no books. I had ladles, chef cap, hat, housekeeping aprons, knife, and a book on Tangami Philip book on cookery. My mom was like flipped. She said, "This is not what I want my son to do." And it is true. Neighbors did have that impression to tell, like, see, if you don't study, you'll be like Prashanth. You'll get into hotel management.
Oh.
That was the chill. But for me, it was like, I found like, you know what, I'm the only one who's doing hotel management among all of y'all. But my own friends said, Prashanth's brilliant, man. Wow, it's so good. You're doing hotel management. That actually motivated me. So mom at one point, you won't believe, went to the gas at that point, because she's from a very orthodox family. I mean, she's never stepped out of home. It was always like that. They were brought up like that. For a fact that mom didn't even have a slipper to go out. So she was always a housewife. It was like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's how that culture was. We were a very joint family. So mom did everything for the family. After marriage, she got married when she was really young. There was a big difference between my mom and dad. Dad had very late marriage and stuff like that. So yeah, so she at one point went to the gas and said, you know what, Prashanth, if you're going to study this, never mind about the money, either it's you or me. So dad was one way very supportive, and he was the one who actually bridged mom and brought that piece into it, saying that we should be encouraging him to do what he wants to do. So that was a magic. So I enjoyed it. I went to year one in college. It was brilliant. College was full of different specific subjects that you really enjoyed, which you never even thought of. French to hotel science to housekeeping, front office, everything. So you go through that stream. And as we finished the second half of the year, I got a letter from Kilpauk Medical College. So what happens is, those days, there are people who do engineering and apply for medicine, both, who have taken maths and science.
Bio, yeah.
So they will apply for both, and there will be a lot of people who dropped out of engineering, also dropped out of medicine. So when they drop out of medicine, there is a waiting list of people from AIMS. So AIMS entrance exam is basically purely on your entrance exam. It doesn't do anything with your academics. So on second list, I got a letter from Kilpauk Medical College saying that pay 1,900 rupees to the dean, and you can join your medicine on the following.
Oh, because you're
I list. So because you're on shortlist, you're on waitlist, I got up.
Damn.
So you got one hotel management, you paid 10 grand, you're enjoying what you're doing, and then you get this letter from Kilpauk Medical College that you want to do. Sweets, everybody was like, oh, Prashanth's going to medical college, blah. It was like, and at one point, I had like 6 days or a week basically to go and meet the dean and give the original school documents and stuff. And I told my dad, no, Dad, I do not want to do medicine. It's going to take 5 years, and again, no, that's not what I want to do. Again, another picture at home. Relatives, neighbors, everybody was like,
convincing you.
Something is wrong with this guy. At one point they said, Menon's son, they always call, something's wrong with Menon's son. He's got his medicine and whatever it is. He's blessed that God has blessed him to give him medicine.
Yeah, he got the
and
opportunity.
He's going back and saying that he wants to do a hotel management. But I think Dad, again, at that point of time, my maturity level was very different. At one point, I thought, Prashanth, am I taking the wrong decision in life? And there was nobody to coach you at that time, right? Everybody's only telling you, go and do medicine, do this. But nobody was giving me that. But my instinct said, you know what, I like what I'm doing. I want to do hotel management. I didn't want to go for medicine. So I told that my dad, I said, you know what, don't worry about that. You do what you have to do. I went, I was always that, this guy, what's he doing? And for 2 years, it went on. After that, hotel management was something where I think from Asan Memorial experience, you learn about one thing. What I see from college, which I learned and from school, is in hotel management they teach you about not more on academics, it's more on practical. When you do, especially on a second year, you are exposed to hotels, and that's when you see a reality. Okay. And after my second year, we had 86 of us in our batch 1. When we came back after industrial exposure training in year 3, we were half the size. People left the industry. People left hotel management
because they could just go through the.
So when you finish your second year, and when you're in your second year, you have to do your 6 months industrial exposure training, where you have to go and do your practicals in a hotel. right, as you're studying, and that actually is your learning experience, and you learn a lot. So you are exposed to front office, housekeeping, F&B, kitchen, purchasing. You go through all the department. So when I say all the department, it's like you start from the bottom. And I remember when I started, the first
And you don't
day-
get exposed to you do it.
So
You do that.
I was lucky enough to get into Chola Sheraton, which was the first Sheraton hotel in India, to do my intern, because you go in for an interview process as well. So I remember the first day of my training going back to Chola Sheraton was, okay, you're going to the hotel, white shirt, ironed up properly, good black tie, ready for the first day of training. Your seniors didn't tell you about the exposure, what's going to happen. So I went to the hotel, and that's then I realized staff don't walk through the lobby. Right, so I got the bus and I said, you know what, I'm going walking to the lobby. I'm working in this hotel. You don't know there was something called there's a back entrance for the staff. There's a small door which you have to go. I walked into the lobby and I said, I remember you had a tall Sardar guy who was standing in the dome, and he opened the door and greeted me. I was like, wow, this is the industry, Prashanth. Doctors don't get this. So I went into this hotel, nice, beautiful lobby, nice lobby music. I still remember it was a Kenny G pipe music in the background, very different smell. And it was like a dream come true, walking to the first time getting into Chola Sheraton. And then I went to the front office and I said, see, I've come, I'm so and so. They looked at me like that, and then I said, you have to, he will let you know. I went back to the dome and I said this. Then he spoke in Hindi. He never spoke in English or in Tamil, and I didn't know Hindi at that time because I never had fluent English. I said, can you tell me in English? So he said, go through that way. I went back, cycle, car park, and went back. And then those days nobody had scooters; it was all cycle. I went back. Then you can see cylinders, and you can see food pickup. Very different smell. It's not the smell, no music, nothing. And you walk back to security and you have a card, you sign in, and then you go to these long doors where you have big pipes running in. So that was an experience. And you go to HR, and then that's the reality check. And then you start into different departments. And